Okay, we're gonna go over the Clivia Anatomy. We'll start with the flower. The larger of the two is called a tepal or a petal, and the smaller of the two is called a sepal. Then you got the stigma, which is where you put the pollen when you're crossing, making seed. That's the female part of the flower. And then you got the anthers, which is where the pollen is, and that's the male part of the flower. Then the part that the anthers are on is called the filament. Then you got your inferior ovary, which is broke up into 3 locules or oval and 8 to 10 ovals. Together, the stigma and the style, which is the stem of the stigma, is called the pistil, and together the anther and the filament is called the stamen. Okay, then on the full flower, you have the flower cluster, which is called the umbel, and then the bracts, which protect the flowers when they're coming up. Then you have the stem scape or the peduncle, the leaves. You have an axillary meristem and a apical meristem. The axillary is usually where the flowers, the bloom spike comes out, and then you have the rhizome, which is the base of the stem, and the roots, which there's one main root called the radical, and then all the little roots are called the adventitious roots that come off of, or the secondary roots that come off of the roots. Okay, when you set pollen on the flowers, after the flowers die, the seed pods form, or the flower berries, and the full plant also offsets. Some offset more, which is the baby pups, and you can actually remove those, and those generally are identical to the mother plant unless it's some type of variegated. Then once those ripen and turn colors, you can pick the seed pods, and that's what the seeds are inside of that. So it's called the seed or the endoderms. Then once you peel that and remove the seeds out of the inside, here's a sample of the seed, which the embryo is where the radical pops out, or the root, when you're germinating. And then you have a seedling, and the seedling feeds off of the nutrients in the seed pod, in the seed. And there's the radical, which is the first root, and the root hairs that come off of that is what absorbs the water and the nutrients out of the soil. And then you have the hypocoel or the peduncle, which forms into this stem on the flower. It's called a peduncle. And that whole ovary thing I've missed, that's called the receptacle. Anyhow, back down to the seedling. The first leaf is called the plumule, and the and then where it comes out is called the apical leaf. Coleoptical is where it forms, and that's about it.